What up, Bulls Nation? We've got a live CHGO Bulls podcast coming up for y'all right around the corner. On today's show, the Pacers are NBA Finals bound. Can the Bulls model themselves after these pesky and finals bound Indiana Pacers, who are maybe not juggernauts, but are doing good things? Then, latest NBA mock draft, courtesy of our own Will Gottlieb and Derik Queen. We're going to talk about who might be on the board for the Bulls at 12 next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Day. Bow. Bow. BNWL Sports. Will the Gottlieb, perfectly coiffed. Will_Gottlieb. And the queen of the controls, the one and only Katie Duffy. What up, Katie?
Hi.
Happy Monday, everybody. We made it to June.
We're in June.
It is June.
Yay.
NBA draft month, baby.
Okay, that's fair.
Them off seasons are extra long when you lose in the play-in tournament.
Coming in hot.
Three straight years.
Welcome back.
I'm back, baby.
Got to work on the hat toss, though. Yeah.
No, I was trying to knock the monitor over with that one.
Well, yeah.
Just didn't have enough juice on it.
Shout out for having the force in that throw to knock a monitor over. Good job.
It's the only muscle in my body that works is this elbow right here.
Too many jukes.
Everybody have a good weekend. How you guys been? Thanks for holding it down last week.
Mm-hmm. Chilling. Everything's good.
Chilling?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Good here.
Everybody's good.
Katie, are you also chilling?
Never.
I'm chilling, man.
Chilling.
Always chilling.
Never.
You know who else is chilling?
Who?
The Knicks. Bye. They done. They gone. Sorry, Spike Lee. Sorry, all you other obnoxious Knicks fans out there. Wow. Kudos to the Pacers. They are finals bound. The NBA finals don't start until Thursday, which is such a tease because it's only Monday right now.
It's very true.
And we have all become, NBA playoff junkies. And then there are fewer and fewer games the further and further you go.
True.
But so not necessarily an NBA finals preview, but we wanted to talk about this Pacers team a little bit because a lot of people around the NBA and a lot of Bulls fans have been sort of comparing or trying to make a comparison to what this Pacers team has been able to accomplish over the last couple of years, making 2 deep playoff runs, including their first NBA Finals trip this year since 2000. And if there's some sort of overlap between how the Pacers have built this team and what AK appears to be trying to build here in Chicago.
It's, man, welcome back.
Thanks,
because
buddy.
you're already walking me into negative territory.
Hey!
And I appreciate that
I'm
because
back, baby.
positive as I am, I'm going to tell the truth regardless.
Yeah.
So for the old school people out there, it's kind of like Transformers and GoBots, with how the team is kind of being built. You see what the Pacers are doing. It starts with the star. You need a star. And then, you need another one. So you need 2 of those things. That's why Pascal Siakam won the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Final trophy. Congratulations to him. So you need 2 of those guys. And then I think once you have that, you can really start building your team around. Like, even if you're looking at Denver, you have the guy in Joker, but you have another star in Murray. You have another star in Aaron Gordon. Then you can start building around that as far as the coaching and the fit and all those other cool things that you like to do. So that's usually how it's done. The Bulls have done it a different way and said, we'll just start with the 9 or 10 guys and get that going and out the way. And then we'll try to get a star because those 9 or 10 guys will be there. That's not the way to do it, but the Bulls are going and doing it that way. Not to say that it can't be done, just to say I haven't seen it done in that way. So, it's building backwards, in my opinion. The Bulls clearly know what they want to be and who they want to be with the Pacers, but Yeah, man. It's like they're not looking at the instructions and saying, no, I can build that. Well, what about all those pieces that are left over there? Yeah, they just put extra stuff in the box. No, that's stuff that you need to build right there, and they're not using. So you're watching the Pacers do it the right way. And, of course, Rick Carlisle, I can't forget him, and just how amazing of a coach that he is as far as X's and O's are concerned. It's not a dig at Billy Donovan, but, Rick Carlisle's a better coach. Like, he's a better coach. He always has been. So, yeah, it's just Transformers and GoBots. That's how I kind of look at it.
I think if you look at it stylistically and you say you see the Pacers' success, they're running up and down, they're playing defense. I think their physicality, as we've talked about, really shows on both sides of the ball. It's not just getting the ball up the court and getting into your offensive sets and like really running into your screens, really coming off hard, and just like getting into those actions. I think the Bulls tried to do some of that. And then defensively, I think it showed up in the second post-All-Star part of the season. The Bulls were actually a pretty good defense. They were 10th in the league. You can quibble about like how real that is and the schedule and all that stuff. That's totally fair. But they were a pretty good defense down the stretch. The Pacers, after All-Star, 5.6 net rating, Bulls 4.8. Both teams were top 10 in defense. Bulls and Pacers 13th and 14th in offense. So in terms of profile, in terms of style, you definitely see the comparison. And if you're Arturis, you're sitting here saying, we played like that. This team is making it really far. And like, why can't we do that next year? We're really like catapulting ourselves off of the, strength of the last stretch. I think that neglects a couple of key things. One being the loss in the play-in.
Yeah.
And two, to your guys' point, and first and foremost, the lack of a star player. But let's say that Arturis wants to say Josh Giddey is the Bulls' Tyrese Haliburton.
Sure.
They want to build around him in the same way that the Pacers
Sure.
are building around Haliburton. We can agree or disagree with that, but let's say that is the model that you're building on. I think the key is two things. One is you need a co-star, and that co-star needs to fit into the system, but also be really good on both ends of the court. Needs to be able to give you 30 points and also defend the best player. And then you need a rim protecting, floor spacing big. It can't be necessarily a pure lob threat in the form of like a Clint Capella or a Rudy Gobert, because that doesn't space the floor and open up driving lanes for your offensive engine. And it can't just be a three-point shooter that's not giving you anything defensively. The Pacers have been really good at protecting the rim, at defending the paint, and just making life really hard on teams on that end, despite really not having personnel that you would think of as like really high-level defenders. I think Nesmith, Nembhard, Siakam, Turner, all those guys have been really solid defensively and taken strides in their own game, and that has helped them get there. So I think there's a couple of key pieces missing for the Bulls, and those are hard pieces to figure out. They're hard pieces for a team with limited assets to go out and acquire, and I think that will be the challenge for Arturis moving forward.
I do think also the way to get that superstar on your team, you have to have stars already available on your team. Because if you recall, they had Sabonis, what I'm saying, on their squad. And that's why they're able to acquire another kind of star player with the upside that Tyrese Haliburton
And I
had.
think the Bulls tried to do the same thing. Caruso for Giddey
Correct.
is very much in the same vein of Sabonis for Haliburton. And look, Giddey, flawed as he may be, like, if the Bulls are trying to play this style, he did play really well in that. I think the Bulls, again, we can agree or disagree with this, but like the Bulls are going to give him that chance to be the Haliburton of their team. And so I agree with you. It's about how do you get the right pieces around him to really complement that. And like Kobe, I see in the comments, is an all-star, all-NBA next season.
I hope so.
Maybe, but like that doesn't fit anywhere of what the Pacers are doing. They have like defense 3-and-D guys up and down the rotation. And like Kobe, as good as he was this year, that's not really who he is. So how do you apply those same principles to a team that is built fundamentally very differently?
Grandmama's Flight School in the comments said, if you minus the fact that the front office coach roster and basically everything else that makes the Pacers, then sure, the Bulls are the Pacers. But I think the style of play that you were kind of touching on there, and yet, like defense obviously important too, and credit to the Pacers for the defense they've been playing in these playoff series. And the Bulls were maybe better than expected or better than advertised down the stretch defensively. I think it's because the Pacers play fast offensively that people are saying, well, this is what Billy and the Bulls have been doing. Just what Kobe and Josh and everybody out there, they're running team. everything. Well, can that work in the playoffs? Some people say no because the game slows down and gets much more physical in the playoffs, and that is to some degree true. But even still, the Pacers this season were that style of team offensively in ways that the Bulls were not. Like, the Pacers had a top 10 offensive rating this season. The Bulls were 20th. The Pacers were, I think, 4th or 5th in true shooting percentage this season. The Bulls were in the teens. The Bulls were a problematic offensive team when it came to turnovers. 15th in the NBA in turnover percentage. Pacers, 4th. They played fast but protected the basketball. So, like, yes, there are some similarities that I can see between what the Pacers are doing very successfully right now and maybe what the Bulls are trying to emulate with that style of play. But they are well short of it right now as they head into another season of theoretically trying to do this brand of basketball more and better.
Yeah, and even coming into that Eastern Conference Finals, they had 4 guys, as I said, that were shooting over 40%, from the three-point line, on their team.
It's pretty good.
So, yeah, it's what I've been told. It's what I've been told. So, yeah, like the Bulls have a lot to gain and get back to. Hey, Julia, to gain and get back to if they want to do that. And also, like I speak about those other stars. And, Matt, I was thinking about you when I was watching this Pacers team because I'm watching Obi Toppin, and all I kept thinking in my head was this is their Aaron Gordon. Like, this is exactly the kind of style that he is and, just the athleticism that he has. But then adding that three-point shot to it, which is another thing Aaron Gordon we saw do. Once that got added to it, he became a whole different kind of player. And just having the elite point guardsmanship of Tyrese Halliburton, knowing the alley-oops are coming all day, and knowing that Aaron Gordon can get that from Joker, it unlocked a whole nother kind of player in Denver. And I think it's doing the same thing here. So I'm saying all that to say the Bulls are going to need those kind of players as well, those matchup issues, for those guys with that athleticism. Could it be a Julian Phillips? Maybe. Maybe he can grow and get into that kind of realm of basketball player. But they have so many things that they're good at that if this isn't working, we'll try this. If this isn't working, we'll try this. The Bulls just aren't built to that level yet.
I think the depth thing is valuable. Like, you're seeing guys being able to step up and provide what the Pacers need. So I think what the Bulls are trying to go for, I do think that if you're saying what the Pacers are doing works, then maybe the Bulls can get that too. But I do think that there's a couple of really core pieces that they're missing. We've talked a bunch about Josh Giddey the comparison of Josh Giddey to Halliburton and the 3-point off the dribble shooting. Giddey's never going to be a really good off the dribble 3-point shooter, but can he add that to his game enough where now you can't always go under the screens and that opens up the driving lanes a little bit more for him. I think he needs to improve there because teams are going to give it to him. They're going to force him to be able to do that. We saw that in the play-in game. And I think that can really open up a lot of his driving and passing if he is able to improve at that. And he did improve on his off-the-catch shooting. A lot of it was wide-open threes. That's fine. If you're going to give him space, he does need to be able to knock those down, and he did that. So real improvement there. Giddey's still young, so maybe he can continue to develop that stuff. But to me, it's the Miles Turner element is something that the Bulls are really going to struggle to find. Let's say Modest turns into some sort of replica of Pascal Siakam, the defensive, offensive, two-way player type of power forward who can create a little bit. I don't think that's too much of a stretch. Not to say he's going to be as good as him, but can he be that style of player? I think he can. And you feel good about Kobe. You have to continue to add your 3-and-D wings in there. But the 3-point shooting, rim protecting big is a really hard thing to be able to go out and get. I think the Pacers did a really good job of identifying the one thing that they were missing and going after that guy in what's called pre-agency, basically trading for a guy the summer before he becomes a free agent because the team is looking to move off of him. You trade for him. They didn't give up too much. It was a couple of late firsts, and then they signed him to the deal, and that locked him in. So I think the Bulls should be looking at that. They've got a bunch of expiring salaries. They've got all their draft picks. Maybe this is the year, if they get out of the gate hot, where now you can convince yourself, let's package a couple of expiring salaries and draft picks to go out and get a center that matches our style and allows us to continue to build that way and play this style.
Pre-game, pre-agency? I like
sure. This. Yeah. No. Look, our guy was just saying, there's a lot of this still goes back to what you were saying earlier, Dave. Do you have your star 1 and your star 2?
It starts there, bro.
And then beneath that, Pacers role players, elite role players in this league.
Elite. Like, even if you're looking at the team that they traded Sabonis to, they had their star in place.
Right.
Like, it has to be there. You have to have that. You can't get around it, y'all. Like, you have to have it. That's what it has to be.
Bulls are a
that's
good
like,
old country mile away from that.
That's like what. So this is, I think, the part where there's just going to be a fundamental disagreement because I'm coming at this from the perspective of like the Bulls are trying to build this way. They see Giddey as that guy because you don't pay Giddey, like obviously they haven't done it yet, but like even if they pay him $30 million or $25 million, like when you have Giddey, you're building around him. You're not like the way that he plays and his limitations. You have to build a certain style. So no matter what they give him, they are building him that way. To me, it's about how do you find the other pieces.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break there. Then when we come back, we're going to dive into some draft talk. Mock draft, newest one, courtesy of GOAT and Derik Queen, available allchgo.com right now. Hit the like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube while we share some ads. Today's show brought to you by Bet365. We're running out of basketball games to bet on, and I am sad. But we still have some basketball left to bet on, and it's the best kind, the NBA Finals. With that Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if the team you're favoring in these finals goes up by 20 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and be sure to use promo code CHGO365 when you sign up, because when you do, you're going to get $150 in bonus bets added to your account after you make your first $5 bet. That's it. $5. Pick a thing that you think is going to happen in Game 1 NBA Finals, throw $5 on it, and boom, $150 in bonus bets credited to your account. Even if you don't win that $5 bet, win or lose, either way, you're getting that bonus $150. And the great thing about Bet365, those bonus bets can be placed on just about any and all kinds of in-game betting. Unlike a lot of others who restrict how you can use those bonus bets they give you. There's a lot of red tape in other places. But on Bet365, you can use those bonus bet numbers on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So don't forget that promo code CHGO365 when you download the app and sign up. Must be 21 and older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
New sponsor alert. Sponsor alert. Oh, and it's something that everybody knows and uses. Cash App. Ooh. Making money moves should be easy. On stacks. And that's why. There's Cash App. It's fast, it's safe, and honestly, just way more personalized than other apps that are out there. It's true. No extra hoops. You know we can't stand those to jump through. No extra stress. No woozies. No wazies. None of that. All of the tools are right there to help you cash in. Plus, sending money with Cash App actually feels safe. They look out for you. If something seems sketchy or they see you might be sending money to a potential scammer, then they will warn you, make you think twice before you hit a send. It's like having that personal bodyguard for your cash. Who couldn't use that? You can even spice up your payments with custom text, stamps, and backgrounds, because why should you be paying your friend for brunch and be so boring when you do it? Not with Cash App. If for whatever reason you don't already have Cash App, just download it from your phone's app store, sign up, enter the code CHGO Bulls. That is CHGO Bulls. Enter it in your profile, send $5 to a friend, and you'll get $10 just for getting started. Oh, it is awesome stuff, man. So for limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. There's no catch, y'all. Again, download it, sign up, CHGO Bulls, put it in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you will get $10. Ching, ching, drop right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Rolling along CHGO Bulls on a Monday, June 2nd. Where is the summer? It is here. Speaking of cash and fun things and the NBA, quick other plug that we got going on right now. It's what we call the ALLCITY Ball Knowers Bonus. That is a fun little competition that we're doing through our website, through the merch locker. And with those NBA Finals on deck, Game 1 coming up on Thursday. If you think you know ball, we've got another Ball Knower bonus that we're going to tell you about for each game of the NBA Finals, all you have to do is pick the winner of the game, starting with Game 1 on Thursday. You can win a gift card to the CHGO merch locker if you make your pick correctly. Really simple. Here's how it works. Click the link in the description, allchgo.com. Make your pick. Who's winning Game 1, Pacers or Thunder? Then place an order at the merch store. We've got a lot of awesome merch. Shout out to the Die Hard shirts. Shout out to the Die Hards who get 20% off every time they shop. Then, after you make your selections in that CHGO merch store, make your selection for Game 1's winner. If you pick correctly, you get a gift card to the merch store for the same amount as your original order. Boom.
Slap.
So, again, for all those ball knowers out there, slap them, Katie. For all those ball knowers, make your pick, place an order. If you pick correctly, you're going to get a gift card from ALLCITY, from CHGO, for the same amount as what you just spent in the merch store, just for guessing who wins Game 1 of the NBA Finals. It's incredible. It's a fun offer. It's a great one to take advantage of. All on-sale items are eligible for this promotion so long as the total value of the order is $25 or more at checkout. Ball knowers, assemble.
That's me. It's in my name.
Yes. Bow.
I know it.
All right. Rolling along. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us on YouTube today. Hit that like button if you didn't do it during the ad break. Vote in the poll. What? That's a great question, Katie. I cannot wait to see how those votes come back. Best type of jam or jelly?
Best type of jam or... Do we get into this now? No, you know what? No,
we'll save it.
Not going to get it now.
We wait for the poll results section of the show.
That's right.
You're missing a lot of good flavors in here, by the way.
When we have enough votes and enough likes.
I only get 4 options, so.
Okay.
All right. So next on the agenda today, it is June. It is officially the month of the NBA draft. June 25th this year? 26th?
25th.
25th. We are close. We are 23. We are Michael Jordan number days away from the NBA draft.
Second round is on the 26th.
What?
The second round is on the 26th. So
boom,
we're all
boom.
right.
Oh, right. They split it up into 2 nights now.
They did.
What do you think? You're the NFL? Come on, NBA. Let's run through those second rounders. But because that is the season, GOAT, in addition to the incredible Die Hard draft guide that this guy has been working so hard on and recently updated, yes? Die Hard draft guide. Check that out. It is easily by name, you can tell, for diehards only. On top of that, it's Mock Draft 2.0 done by you and your PHLY Sixers cohort, Derek Bodner, that was dropped earlier today on allchgo.com. We're going to be talking about this mock draft. Who's on the board in this mock draft for the Bulls at 12, and if we like the pick at 12. So if you want to kick us off, GOAT, I gave this a peruse earlier today. Nothing super shocking. Picks 1 through 4.
Yeah.
It is the 4 names that we all are expecting to be taken.
Do we want to go
1
through
through
like
4.
one each pick?
Sure.
Okay. So I guess what I'll just say to preface this is that over the last 2 weeks or so, we've really revamped the draft board and like our database portion. So we've added a ton of notes on players, spent the last day or two really reorganizing our big boards. The way we did it is like each of us has our own big board, and then we kind of like split the difference to make the like ALLCITY big board. And then watching a bunch more film, like obviously Drake Powell was in the news last week with the Bulls. He was like in the 40s on my board, and I moved him all the way up to the 20s now because of the news and because of the hype around it and just watching more film on him. So some of this is like influenced by where guys are in the news cycle and like, is their name heating up? Some of it is based on my opinion. And for the most part, like Derek and I are pretty aligned. There's a couple where we're like pretty far off. I'm a lot lower on Danny Wolf, for example, than he is. There's a couple other guys in there, but for the most part, we're pretty in line. I was a little bit higher on Thomas Sorber, names like that. So what we did for the mock draft is we just alternated picks. And the last one we did the day after the lottery and the start of the combine. Derek took odd numbers, so 1, 3, because he wanted to do the Sixers, and the Bulls are obviously 12th pick, so that worked out. This time we flipped it. So I picked for the Sixers, he picked for the Bulls.
Okay.
But let's just go through, starting from the top. And as you said, pretty chalky here to start. Cooper at 1 to the Mavericks, Harper to the Spurs, Ace Bailey to the Sixers. I went with him over the other options there. And then VJ Edgecombe to Baylor. I think the Sixers are an interesting one just because they are like kind of win now, kind of not. Can't really like bank on Embiid's health, but like if
There's
he
a
is
lot
healthy,
hanging in
you're
the
a
balance for
contender.
them this offseason.
And so, like, do they want to trade this pick to like get win now help, or do they want to take a guy who has some upside but like may not be able to help right away? So I don't know. I feel like Bailey was kind of the best of both worlds, where he can like be a really good shooter and defender, and then hopefully grow into more. But I'm a little bit lower on Bailey. I guess maybe I'm more in line. I think his stock has fallen a little bit, but I did think it made the most sense there.
Dave, I think you've always been the highest among us on Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
And Ace Bailey seems to me over the last couple months to have been one of those names where it's like, yeah, it seems like consensus. He's number 3 on this list for this draft class. It's Coop, it's Harper, Bailey. Some might even argue Bailey over Dylan Harper, but some people may be taking it a bit too far, in your opinion, that are like dropping Bailey like down to 4 or even 5 or outside the top 5 for whatever reasons. But I think we still very likely might see this in reality on draft night being like, yo, Ace is number 3.
Yeah. Like, look, I hope he falls outside the top 10. Like, for real. Like, I hope that happens. That would be great. So keep talking that trash about him. I'm enjoying it. My favorite thing to hear when I hear people and they tell me why Ace Bailey is falling is they were like, well, he takes really bad shots. And then they always pause. And then they say, yeah, but he makes them. And I'm like, so we're done here, right? Like, we're finished? Like, what are we arguing? I get it. Takes bad shots. Okay, that's great. He hits them at a really high clip, and a really high percentage. Like, those are dudes that you need in the league, like tough shot makers when everything just is going wrong and you need it to go in, a la Kobe Bryant, a la Michael Jordan, a la LeBron, whatever great you want to throw out in there. That's their job, is to do that. Everything else about him, I think, can be taught to him at a NBA level that you might be concerned about. But, yeah, if he goes 4, I would understand. Like, some people like VJ Edgecombe, maybe Philly might want to do it. I don't think they would. But it has been brought up that Philly would be open to listening to, other teams as far as trades are concerned. I don't think they should. I think Ace Bailey is the perfect pick for them. I think he fits in well. So even if Embiid is not going to be there, you're still having a big man that you can depend on. Not that they're going to do the same things, but just the fact that you can have that to depend on, and Maxey isn't out there by himself. So you need that help, and I think Ace Bailey is honestly a perfect fit for Philly. But I don't think, hey, keep talking is all I'm saying. Let him fall. Like, come on down. Say, do the same thing you did with Modest. Trash. Don't like it. Oh, not going to work. Let that man fall. Come on home. Come on.
I do think, like, originally I thought Ace was like the clear number 2. The season started. I thought, did not play as well as you would have hoped. I think there's like obviously some tunnel vision. Like, the passing is not really there. I don't think he's going to be this like lead creator, build your offense around him type of player. That's okay. I still do think he has probably like more star equity than even VJ.
Yeah.
Like, if he hits, he's like a 6'10" dynamic scorer. That's like super valuable.
Super.
VJ, I don't think has as much in the way of like a scoring bag. And that's okay because he's a really good defender. He's great in transition. He's a great off-ball player. But like,
stuff. Yeah.
And like I think he's going to be really good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he has as much star upside. The one guy who I am higher on, and I could see, I think I've moved him into a tier with VJ and Ace, is Con Knippel. I'm very excited about what he can do with the ball in his hands. I think he's going to be a solid defensive player on the ball and away from the ball, especially away from the ball. The shooting is incredible, and I do think he has like some pretty good ball skills in terms of getting into his own shot, passing. I could see him going as high as 3.
Interesting. Yeah. Wait. Because when you're picking up there, Will, those are stars. Those are dudes you're bringing in to be stars. You think he's got that kind of potential?
I think there's maybe more of a chance of him becoming an all-star than VJ. Like, VJ is not like, at the end of the day, 25 points is what gets you into an all-star game, right?
Facts. Yeah.
Like, I don't see VJ scoring 25 points a game. I think he's going to be a really good two-way player. I would feel very comfortable taking him top 5. I'm not saying he's not good. I have him 3 right now. But I just think Con, like, he could be like a souped-up Austin Reeves. Like, I just think that's the kind of player he is, where he can like really create. He's an incredible shooter. He's like, he's big. I think he's going to be able to play 2 and 3. He's going to be able to defend. I think he kind of gives you just a little bit of everything that you need, plus like really elite shooting. I mean, I don't know. I think those 3 are kind of in the same category. But I think if you're asking me like, who has the best chance of becoming an all-star, it might be him.
Wow.
Might be him.
I like this.
Let's knock out a couple more ads real quick, then we'll come back and continue through this latest NBA mock draft, courtesy of the GOAT and Derik Bodner, who will be on the board at 12 for the Bulls. Hit the like button and cast your vote if you haven't done either or both the first time around, or Katie will come after you.
She will.
Today's show brought to you by Sunnyside. Ooh, it's a Sunnyside Monday.
All right.
What is Sunnyside? It's your cannabis dispensary and your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. A place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer, along with your gams and your burks, and your mind, too. Sunnyside is Illinois' favorite dispensary with locations throughout the city, Wrigleyville and River North. Shout out to that Wrigleyville location. Pop in myself many a times. Even all the way down to Champaign, all the way up in South Beloit near that border, and scattered throughout the glorious Chicago suburbs. If you're just starting out, don't worry. Sunnyside has expert guidance from their well-informed staff to help you make great selections on brands they know you will love. Even if you're a pro, a connoisseur, and you think you know everything there is to know about the dispensary life, they probably had some that you haven't tried yet. They have Wellness Advisor Staff Picks collection that you should check out that features some of the over 100 different strains to choose from. That's right, I said 100 different strains. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Just use promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 and older, and Illinois Med Card holders. And don't you worry, existing customers, we got something for you too. For existing customers, use promo code CHGO50 to get 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item. Something for everything at Sunnyside.
He loves some Sunnyside. I told him some Sunnyside over here last. That man made a beeline. Matt don't make a beeline for nothing. He made a beeline that way. Had to stop him, tell him he couldn't use it.
You tell me some edibles are lingering around the office. I'm going to check it out.
He did. He was right here. He had that move right here. And then stopped. Because I told him we couldn't. Empire today! Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, like the Knicks who lost, your team needs a home floor advantage. And Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals whose focus is on flooring every single day. Now, we all been to them big box stores. You don't like going in there. You just don't. But you got to on the weekend sometimes because you got a honey-do list. Shout out Will Purdue. And you go up in there, and then you're like, oh, you know what? She told me to look at floors since I'm in here, so I'm going to go over here and look around. As soon as you step in there, hey, sir, you hear that voice, and oh, my goodness, you're about to be biffed. Why are you about to be biffed? Because you're going to think he works there. And you about to ask him questions about in the flooring department. You're going to ask him some questions about floors. He won't know jack. Don't get biffed, ladies and gentlemen. Stay at home and get that shop at home convenience that you can only get with Empire Today. Pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. Get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered so there will be no surprises with Empire Today. You get that clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using that promo code CHGO. Yep, you heard me. A $350 discount with that code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. 588-2300. Peck.
Empire
Today,
Woo!
we are so back.
Ads! So back. Get in, loser. We're going shopping. All right. Moving along. Draft. Mock 2.0. Goat and Bodner. You guys are talking about Edgecombe a little bit and Con Nipple. So as we move through, picks 4 and then rounding out the top 10, Derik did have Edgecombe going to the Hornets at 4. That is where you will see Edgecombe's name in a lot of mock drafts this year.
He's the perfect fit between Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball.
Agree. There's a solid complementary, factor to that. Trey Johnson going to Utah at 5. Some people do have Trey being that pick to round out the top 5 of this draft class. So nothing crazy to see him that high. Mm-hmm. You got Alabama guard Jeremiah Fears going 6.
Bama.
The first time as I was scrolling through this, went, to myself earlier today, Goat, is Yaka Jonas, one of the several Illini getting drafted this year, all the way up at number 7 going to the Pels.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted to do something different. I feel like a lot of these, we just end up putting the same player in the same place, and that's not very fun. But number 2, I just think like if you're a Pelicans team who, I don't know what's going to happen with Zion. I don't think they know what's going to happen with Zion. But like they need guys who can be offensive engines, but also play away from the ball. And I think Kasparis is one of the players in this draft that might be able to do that. I think he's got more like lead guard potential than Khan to me, which is why I went with him there. I think Fears would be a good option there too. Fears kind of reminds me of DeJounte Murray, so that would be interesting. But I just think he's like going to be able to like give you a little bit of scoring juice with the ball in his hands. He can really shoot it. He can really get into his step back. But he can also like maybe run some screening actions with Zion or space the floor. And I think you just have to build a very particular team when you're doing it around Zion. And I think the fit there just kind of made some sense to me.
I can see that. I like that. And yeah, like just thinking about it in terms of fit of the Pelicans and what they need. Not only do they need another star and more help with that, but just somebody to help get Zion more involved. Like that kind of talent that Zion has needs a point guard, needs a playmaker, somebody that can help get him the ball, but can also go score and take a little more pressure off of him, man. If he ever gets that, like he had kind of with Lonzo, like he had kind of with Rondo for a little bit. You saw the success that they had with that. He definitely needs that. And if he can get that on a yearly basis for wherever he ends up on his team, you're going to really, truly see a Zion Williamson that is just unbelievable and awesome. It reminds me of even of Charles Barkley, like how unlocked he became when he went to Phoenix. Obviously, he was already great. He was amazing. But getting around Kevin Johnson, who was definitely a score-first guard for sure, but a point guard without a doubt. But getting around a guy like Kevin Johnson did nothing but elevate the game of Charles Barkley and just make him even more ridiculous. It's one of the reasons why he walked away with the MVP that year. So, yeah, Zion putting him with a point guard like that, score first or not, just one who knows how to play that position will make his life so much better and easier.
Yeah, but Kasparis is also like a really elite passer.
Yeah,
and I think the combination we've been talking about with Giddey is like the combination of elite passing and pull-up 3 is like really dangerous. And in that way, he does kind of remind me of Halliburton. So it would not surprise me if he ends up being a top 10 pick. I think he's got the tools. I'm not saying he's going to hit that or he's going to become Halliburton. I don't think that's the case. But in terms of the style of play and what he can do, I think those two forces, pulling the defense away from the basket and then being able to leverage elite passing with elite size, that's a really dangerous combination.
Dangerous is a great word, yes.
All right, so moving forward a little bit, you are high on Con Knipple. You have him going 8th to the Brooklyn Nets. It was actually Bodner who made that selection at 8. But a lot of people have Knipple going top 10. You might notice that we have not said either Kaman Malawach's name yet or Derik Queen's name yet. 2 names that Bulls fans have been talking about a lot as guys who might find their way, for whatever reason or reasons, slipping and still being on the board at 12. Well, for you believers in Malawach, your dream ends here because you have him being selected by the Raptors at 9. I, too, would be surprised if Malawach falls past Toronto at 9 if he is still on the board at 9.
I mean,
he screams Raptor.
He does. He just like...
Thank you. I was like, finish it. Yes, there it
puts
is.
It in. He just does feel like he's a Raptor.
Yeah.
I think like they have this sort of core that they have built with Quickly and Barrett and Scotty Barnes, and now you bring Brandon Ingram to the mix. Like the one missing piece long term is center. I like Jakob Poeltl a lot. I think he'll be a mainstay for now, but I just think Malawach, like, if you believe in what he can do as a shooter, then you might want to take him higher than this. Even if not, like, I think he really fits a role and he fits a archetype that teams really need, especially this Raptors team that wants to play with really long guys who defend and scramble and protect the rim. So I like the fit there.
Mhm.
And then, there's also been some smoke about that.
Yeah, I mean, Malawash is definitely someone who got put on my radar by both you guys. Just the raving about it, I should say. I was like, maybe I need to be watching a little bit more because, he's potential, you know what I mean, is all I see when I look at him. So it's all about what's the right team he can go to that can unlock that potential where he can be that guy immediately. And, yeah, the Raptors, because, like you said, everybody there is a Raptor, just going home around, everybody who, got short arms and is running fast, just like you. I'm just talking about a Raptor. He has long arms, obviously. But, yeah, baby arms like that. But, yeah, man, I think it's a good fit for a team that's starting over. We're also hearing that Asa Newell wants to go after another big name also in free agency.
Yeah, maybe they trade the pick.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just about to say that. Yeah, stepping on my feet with that. But I'm with you, GOAT. But, yes. I feel like even if they feel they have too many Raptors on their team, they can package him in a deal and get it away and get a big-time name in here if that's what they truly want. Because Asa Newell is that kind of guy. You know what I mean? And what makes it also interesting, they have the same stuff in their cabinet that the Chicago Bulls have in their cabinet as far as draft picks are concerned and how they can move and operate. So, yeah, this is a big pick for them, I think. As far as how they use it, if they feel he can fit with a Brandon Ingram. Obviously, you don't get Brandon Ingram if you don't think you're going to build around, Brandon Ingram in some kind of capacity. So I'm interested to see how they move forward with that because I would not be shocked if they packaged it with a little trade and tried to get something else.
All right, and the last two picks before the Bulls at 10 and 11, going to be a lot of nervous Bulls fans on these picks waiting to see who will be available at 12. Derik, your co-mock creator, has the Rockets going Carter Bryant at 10.
Take him.
And you have the Blazers taking Noah Essengay, GOAT. Two names that a lot of Bulls fans are high on. I like Carter Bryant. The more I watch Carter Bryant, the more I like him. And I know a lot of people are believers in Noah Essengay's potential and see him as somebody who's worthy of being a top 10 pick in this class. You have him here at 11.
Yeah, I feel like the more I watch these guys, Carter Bryant is very much a 3 to me, and Essengay is very much a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And that lack of positional versatility, I think, is a little bit of a hindrance for me. I think Carter Bryant, I don't know, I just feel like 10 to take a 3 and D wing is not that inspiring to me. Maybe that's wrong. I think he's going to be a very solid player. I just would be looking for a little bit more upside. But as we talked about with him at the combine, I think he feels like there's more there to be able to create. He hasn't really shown that at all, so we'll see if that's true. But either way, I think he fits really nicely into what the Rockets are building, and they're probably going to be able to leverage Dillon Brooks' contract plus some others to go out and get a star, and then you replace that with a lower contract player who can plug and play. So I like that fit. And then Essengay, I think he'll actually end up being a top 10 pick. He's really rising recently, just a huge athlete who can really get up and down the court, has been scoring a bunch. Not really a passer at all, but he can really finish. And I think if he continues to develop his jump shot, that's a very interesting upside swing. And that's kind of what I would be hoping for if I were any of these teams drafting in the back half of the lottery.
Which player fits better with the teams that you have them mocked to?
I think Carter Bryant just slots right in with the Rockets. I don't know that he'd earn a bunch of playing time right away, though. That would be my one concern. You've got Tari Eason, you've got Amen Thompson, you've got Dillon Brooks, you've got Jabari Smith, just so many guys there on the wing, and you can always use more wings, but I could see him struggling to fight for playing time. Essengay, to me, if you're the Blazers, you've got Scoot, Simons, Sharp as your backcourt trio. You've got Denny, Avdia, and Donovan Clingan. You don't really have that 4 of the future. I think Jeremy Grant's, getting to the point in his career where he's not going to be their long-term option at the 4. I really like that fit. He's not really a shooter though, and I think they would kind of struggle with spacing with a bunch of guys basically outside of Simons who don't shoot. But I just think he's going to be a really interesting player. I think he's a little bit duplicative with a guy like Modest because he's kind of a 4 only.
Okay.
But I do like him a lot. I really like the upside there.
We got people chiming in the comments. Paolo Espinola saying, would like the Essengay-Yang draft combo. Interesting upside, saying you're in favor of Essengay. Yang noting the Hanson Yang, the prospect, the 7-footer from China, who also impressed a lot of people with what he did at the combine. So maybe a player who could still be there back when the Bulls are on the clock again in the second round. Meanwhile, Howie R. Bear is saying Carter Bryant, big risk, big reward. So is Noah Essengay. Broom saying Essengay's rising, winning me over slowly but surely. So moving on, I just saw those 3 letters from our guy Fish. Those 3 letters that a lot of Bulls fans are talking about. CMB.
Well, clearly it's Cedric Coward that your name is you're going to say right now. Clearly. I don't even have to look at it.
It's not, Dave.
Stop lying to me, Matt Peck.
That would be CC.
Stop
Cedric
lying
Coward.
to me.
CMB being Collin Murray-Boyles.
I thought it meant Cedric, my boy.
South Carolina. I like that. That's good. Derik had the Bulls pick at 12. He took Collin Murray-Boyles, somebody who's getting a lot of juice among Bulls Twitter, Bulls Talk, Bulls Pods all over the place right now.
Yeah.
So, we've talked a lot about CMB, what he can do, what he can't yet do, his upside, his risks. This is an interesting pick to me, given who else is on the board.
Yes.
Because you're saying you're taking Collin Murray-Boyles over Derik Queen, who is still here, over Asa Newell, who is still on the board, who I really like, over your boy, Cedric Coward, who is also on the board and rising. Not to mention Thomas Sorber and a guy you talked about some last week as well, Igor Demon, still on the board. So Jase Richardson, Michigan State. There are a lot of names that are intriguing to Bulls fans still on the board here, the way that this mock unfolded. And I don't know how I would feel if CMB is that guy that they go with at 12.
I don't know how I feel about it either. Your turn, GOAT.
So again,
tell us how to feel.
I mocked CMB to the Bulls in our first mock. This one was Derik, and I can just read you what he wrote about him. He says the questions surrounding Collin Murray-Boyles are legitimate, with a forward making just 9 total threes in 2 seasons with South Carolina.
9 times.
But the forward has a chance to be transformational on defense, with combination of his defensive playmaking and versatility having a chance to cover up some of the defensive limitations of Chicago's core. I agree with that. I mean, I think the more I watch CMB, in some ways, the more I like him, and in other ways, the less I feel like the Bulls should take him, because he just doesn't. And again, we can talk about like purely talent plays, purely best player available versus fit and positional need. Like, I don't think those two things are as opposing of forces as some people may think. He's in that range for sure. I think a lot of people that I've talked to have him even higher. I mean, some people top 5. He's an incredibly impactful defender. He's versatile.
So. Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to like really quarterback elite defenses. He's very special on that end. And he's also like pretty good with the ball in his hands in terms of operating as a passing hub, but he's just like very, face up game, left hand dominant. That's like kind of all he does on the offensive end. He does not shoot threes. And so I think offensively, he almost has like a similar game to Derik Queen. He's not as good a passer, I don't think, but like limited shooter, very much a face-up game. And I just don't know, like, how does that fit into what the Bulls want to do? Maybe you should not care about that. Yeah. But for me, it's like you've got Modest, who's kind of, I think, purely a forward defender, because I don't think he's very good on the perimeter. He's not as good on the perimeter as he is protecting the rim. So you kind of want to have him closer to the basket. I think they could play together, but it's just a little bit hard to play two pretty, like, limited defenders. Yeah. I think Murray-Boyles can like guard up and down a little bit more. Yes. So maybe they could work that out. But I don't know. I think with all these guys, I mean, Essengay, Carter Bryant, Maluach, Queen, all these guys, Coward, I would feel fine with. I don't think I would feel like thrilled with. So ultimately, like one or two of them will be available when the Bulls pick at 12. But I don't know that there's anybody there that I'm just going to be like super pumped about.
Before I go into this, when you're not super pumped about a guy like that, do you then look more at fit than you look at kind of best player available kind of thing?
I mean, I think there's a couple things you could look at. Number one is trading down. If there are guys later in the first round, for example, if they really love Drake Powell, maybe you trade down to 18, 20, 22, 25, and you can try to get him. Maybe you take, like, you kind of have all these guys in the same category, same tier of player, and you use fit as the tiebreaker. So there's different ways you can look at it. I just think like the Bulls are trying to be the Pacers. Like, how does Murray-Boyles fit into that? Is he Siakam? Maybe.
Shoot.
But like, I don't know. I think he's like maybe he could be Siakam, but then like where does
Yeah.
Modest fit in? And like what? So I don't know. I would have questions about that in a way that like Carter Bryant, I wouldn't be so excited about him because there's like in my mind not as much upside, but like okay, very easy to see Kobe, Giddey, Carter Bryant, Modest. Like that makes a lot of sense to me positionally, and he can make up for some of that. Whereas
that's true.
CMB, it's like a little bit harder for me to figure out how that works.
So I can see the fit of CMB, especially defensively. I think on the defensive end, he puts a guy like Modest in his kind of place, which is a help defender.
Mm-hmm.
And I think CMB will be really good at that because he's not great as far as like, you know, one-on-one. I think, you know, some of them forwards, you know what I mean, will be, you know, filet mignon on them a couple of occasions. But having a guy like Modest, having your back there, kind of, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. It's the offense. It's clearly the offense that I have a complete issue with. The shooting isn't great. I mean, to have the height he has and not be a shooter and not have like true offensive skills, like just really bothers me. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it sounds like a bench guy when I look at him like that. But this is just how I feel when I see it. I can get it defensively. I get behind it for sure. I'm not saying he can't score. Obviously he can. He has some interior game, you know, to him for sure. He's got that stuff available. But when I'm getting the ball to him, immediately I think the defense goes, we're not worried about him out here. We can cheat other ways and, you know, do other things out here. It's when he comes down inside is when you're going to have to be concerned about that. And who is he coming inside? Then that's going to leave Kobe out there one-on-one trying to, you know, do his thing. I put my best defender on him doing that. We going the other way.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, where's like, you can't play with like multiple non-shooters
Yeah,
in a rotation. Like,
exactly.
It's really difficult to do.
Yeah.
And maybe you end up figuring out a way to get like a longer term 3-point shooting center, and that makes it work a little bit more easily. I don't really think he's a full-time center, but maybe he can get to that point, and then it's a little bit easier. I also think like defensively, if your lineup is Kobe, Giddey, Modest, Collin Murray-Boyles, and a center, Vooch for now, like who's guarding opposing point guards? It's not Giddey, it's not Kobe.
Yeah.
Like who is? It's not Modest, it's not CMB. Yeah. I just think that's not even a great fit, and maybe there's more moves to be made. Again, like I'm thinking about this in terms of I think the Bulls are going to keep the core that they have built together and supplement that. So if that's the case, and maybe it's not, how do you make this work? And to me, I don't know. I would have some questions about that because I don't think either of CMB or Modest are full-time threes. I don't think either of them are full-time fives. And I think that leaves the Bulls pretty light in terms of point of attack defense, which is something that they really need to address.
Dysfunctional in the comments saying it's hard to be psyched about a pick when the first things we say about the dude is what all the downsides are. Yeah, fair point. Where was that comment from Steven, Katie, that you had on the screen a minute ago? So, yeah, Steven, there gives your answer dysfunctional. As long as the Bulls continue to embrace mediocrity, they're going to continue to be stuck picking a bunch of mid-level lottery guys or late lottery guys. They won't be lucky to draft Modest Buzelas every year.
Yeah.
To you, Steven, I say right on.
Tip of the cap, Steven.
Accurate. Somebody else I thought brought up a good point. Oh, our guy Fish saying it's hard to say anything about fit when we don't know who's really going to be here in 3 years.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my point is I think I'm operating from a place of we actually do.
You articulating that is as in like AK's got a head start on not a head start, but like he's building something. He has a vision. Some people, myself included, would say best player available, man. You're not drafting for fit right now. You're not drafting for perfect roster puzzle piece to go with the pieces you already got. Because in my opinion, the pieces already you got, that's not a great puzzle.
Go Bucks.
All right? Just get a new puzzle. They're not expensive. Puzzles are fun. Work out your brain. But I think like what you're saying, and I think you're right, is that in their mind, they are already looking for specific puzzle pieces.
Right.
Which is why you might be talking more so about fit with some of these guys who are on the board at 12, fitting better than others when it comes to who Josh Giddey is as a basketball player, who Kobe White is as a basketball player.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, even if you don't think that Giddey and Kobe and Modest are gonna be here long term, like when has Arturas ever decided that he wants to take like a step back? He didn't even do that this year when the whole point was to take a step back.
Fair point.
Like they're just not going to do that. So to me, it's like, even if you think that at some point those guys won't be on the team, they're not going to be taking a step back. That means you're not starting with a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And I think they've made it very clear that they wanted to play a certain style, and they're about to pay Giddey a lot of money. They're going to pay Kobe next summer probably. Like, this is kind of what the core is. You can agree or disagree with the fact that they believe that this is good enough, but I don't think it's like a question of like, what is the plan? What is the trajectory? Where are they headed? Like, to me, they're already on the path.
Yeah. He told you the plan.
So, Dave, how would you feel if the Bulls go with CMB at 12 in this hypothetical universe where some of the other names still on the board include Newell, Queen, Cedric Howard, Sorber?
Yeah. And also shout out to Rooms mentioned my guy Danny Wolf. I really like Danny Wolf as well.
Danny Wolf.
I'll accept it. You know, like I don't have a choice in that matter. It's not my first choice, second, third, fourth choice, or fifth kind of choice. But it has to be. It's AK's vision, and he's living out his dreams. Which are my nightmares right about now.
Did he win some Make-A-Wish lottery? What the hell are we talking about here?
Hey, man, he did something.
This is your vice president of basketball operations.
These are his dreams right here. He's living them out.
I don't give an SHIT about Arturus's dreams.
I don't either. This is why it's my nightmare. I don't either. But this is what it is my point. This is what it is. He is doing this regardless of what we're telling him. He is walking into traffic when we're telling him, don't walk into traffic. Doesn't matter what we say. I'm living my dream, all right? I'm
both ways, AK.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah. I'm invincible, baby. So, yeah, man. I could either, just continue to be upset about it, which is something I probably will be, and I know you will be as well. But at some point in time, I know me. I'm going to be like, okay, what can the young man do? Okay, where can he fit? Okay, let me watch him in Summer League. Because I always come in with if you draft somebody I like or don't like, I immediately erase what I think this player is. Because then I'm like, all right, let me see it. Because then I will allow that proof to be, proven. Wendell Carter Jr. is a great example for me. Because when I was not high at all on Wendell Carter Jr., when they got him. And I was like, man, I don't know about this dude. And then in Summer League, I watched him, just block a shot with two hands off the glass. And I was like, what? And I was like, wait a minute. Wait, I might be wrong about this guy. Mm-hmm. And then I was not. But still, in fact, I got to see him actually do it. And so I will absolutely have no problem giving him that chance to, before I give that criticism or that praise, So I'll be accepting of it. It's not my first choice. It's not what I want. Y'all clearly know who I want in Cedric Howard. But yeah, I'll accept it, and then I will wait for Summer League to see what he does, and I'll have the eagle eye on him when I do.
I think the more interesting question is, is there a center that you would prefer to take there? I mean, obviously, Coward, Dave, you and I both really like.
Yeah.
I would have probably, if I was making that pick, I probably would have taken him there.
Yeah.
But you also have, you mentioned Asa Newell. I'm not really a fan of his. Derik Queen, I think limitations. We had him falling to 14 just after the combine, and kind of rumors and smoke about him.
Yeah.
But also Thomas Sorber, and then there's some other sort of rising centers. Drake Powell was a name that was connected to the Bulls. Rasheer Fleming, another guy I'm not super high on, but Renaud, Baron J, Kalkbrenner, Hanson Yang, those guys aren't 12th overall pick, but
right.
Those are, I think, options at center. And I wonder if the Bulls, we've talked about this before, would go for a wing with their 12th pick and then a center with the 45th pick, or maybe they make another move to figure that part out.
I mean, we had our guy from Locked On Big Draft Board on, I got Jay, and we were talking to him. He had Thomas Sorber for the Bulls.
At 12?
At 12. He was like either Thomas Sorber or Cedric Howard is where he was going. And Thomas Sorber, I was a little surprised, to hear. I was like, oh, interesting. But I get his point, if you're going to get a center, get the center.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is a center, in the NBA. I'm going to get, a double-double out of this guy. I know what I'm getting, immediately when he walks in the league. It reminds me of Taj Gibson in the way that when I saw his tape, when they drafted him, I knew immediately who he was. I knew what I was getting out of him.
Yeah.
And then it was just anything added on to that was just gravy. So you got a guy who's already has a foundation of how he is going to play the game. You know what he can do offensively. You know what he can do defensively. So if you're really, truly looking for a center, then go get a center.
Mm-hmm. What I find interesting, and we'll find out in a few short weeks who the Bulls take at 12, assuming they do pick there. And as, whether it's CMB or somebody else, I think as a Bulls fan right now, I already know whoever they pick at 12, I'm going to be underwhelmed by it.
Okay, no matter what.
Because there are a few names that I would be really excited about that I believe all will be off the board at 12.
Okay, yeah, that's
kind of how I'm looking at this draft class right now, honestly.
That's fair.
And I will make my peace with thinking about the upside and what I like about whichever player it is at 12, whether it's CMB or Newell or Queen or Coward or whoever. But I would still therefore be way more open to the idea of some team calling AK from beneath them, saying, hey, what do you want for number 12? Because we want number 12.
Yeah, and if, like, we talked about a trade back for Cam Johnson, but even, like, I mean, would you guys do, like, 19 and 26 for 12? Like, I would consider
Sure.
that.
I would consider it, absolutely.
If you could get, like, Drake Powell and Maxime Renaud, I would feel probably much better about that.
Again, assuming nothing crazy happened and, like, Malawatch isn't still on the board at 12.
Sure.
Then, I'll take that swing on that upside for Malawatch if he falls that far.
Let me ask you, are you more worried that those guys you want will be gone or that the Bulls won't take one of them?
That was the other thing I was going to ask is, like, is there a player in this class right now who, if he is available at 12 and AK says, hi, bye, and picks somebody else, is there a name that would invoke, like, outcry from a majority of Bulls fans being like, I can't believe you passed on blank who was still on the board? Is that name Derik Queen? I don't think so.
I think it may be Derik.
I think that's maybe the closest you could come to having, like, a full-on outcry from the fans of, like, you passed on Queen who was there at 12? But to me, I'm like,
By the way, thank y'all for tuning in to Fast Channel, man. Come join us on Overtime, ALLCITY.com.
100 miles an hour. Dancing in the fire.
I love how me and you the only ones that understand that. Because when I was saying it last week, I was like,
some true OG diehards know what
they understand what's going on. It's all good.
But again, like, I don't think there is a name that, like, if the Bulls have the opportunity to draft that player at 12 and don't, to go in a different direction with a different player or to trade out at 12, personally, I would not be like, how dare you, in any circumstances that I think are even remotely possible / realistic.
Personally, yes. I hear you. I mean, I would be a little upset, though, if they don't take Cedric Coward. But it's not like, like I was on trade, free agency. It's not like I'm going to have a bat.
Sacramento passing on Luka.
I'm going to be clearing out the table with the bat.
Right.
You know what I mean? I will be okay. But I think Will has hit it on the head. I think if they pass on a guy like Derik Queen, you'll definitely see that name pop up about how dumb the Bulls were not taking that young man.
And the other thing that goes on to that, the tail of it, is how many other hypothetical teams pass after the Bulls pass, right? Because like we were just talking earlier today at the office, like the whole, hey, Tyrese Haliburton, he's making his way into like the top 15 in the league conversation right now.
Yeah.
He's not there yet, but he's making his way up.
Yeah.
And, good old Patrick Williams, that number 4 pick, like, driving Bulls fans crazy right now. That was one of those instances where, like, the Bulls passed, so did a lot of other teams, and then there goes Haliburton. The same thing can be said for Michael Porter Jr. back in the day. The Bulls passed, then a lot of other teams passed, and then he eventually gets drafted much later. So I think that would also have an impact. If some other team immediately, okay, and this team is on the clock, and the pick is in, and it's this player that,
I don't have anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, like I completely agree with that. I think right now in this draft, if I don't get what I want in Cedric Coward, I would be all open for them trading down. But that is something that will be answered for me only at 11. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know, after the top maybe 6 or 7, which way anybody is going to go after that. Like even after the top 4. You're not really completely 100% sure how it's going to go. So it's hard to break that down and, do calculus on that when you'll be doing it on the fly immediately if they don't take that guy at number 11. So unless the Bulls know already in their head what they want and they've had these conversations previously with another team that is comfortable with trading down, then okay. But I think maybe a lot of this stuff might be done kind of on the fly with these other teams, or the Bulls just know who they want to take at number 12. That is also a huge possibility as well.
I think the way I'm thinking about this, there's like a tier of players between really like 9 or 10 and 15 that are all kind of in the same category to me. And so I don't think that any of them are really going to wow me. And I don't think that any of them are going to be like really a disaster. Queen, I think like it could work out great. I also wonder like if you're trying to mold the Pacers, like where does he fit into that? Is he Siakam? Is he Miles Turner? I don't think he's really either of those guys. And maybe you just don't want to be the exact Pacers, but you want to play like them. I think he could be good in that scenario, but I also still think he ends up going top 10. I don't know why. I mean, the combine, like 28-inch vertical, not great. Obviously, all the other stuff with that, like it is what it is. But I think he's just too talented of a player to not be a swing for someone. Yeah. And then the other thing is like, I wonder, Arturas made it a point to say like we're getting another lottery pick. He said that on multiple times on Stacey's podcast. Yeah. He said it in media. We're adding another very good player in the draft. Like, I wonder if trading back would be some sort of like PR hit there, where it's like we're not getting, and that would prevent him from maybe taking a
to destroy his perfectly immaculate record in that department up until this point.
Well, I mean, I don't
think AK cares about PR hits. The dude talks to the media 3 times a year and says nothing every time, and then repeats the nothing that he said 6 months ago, the last time he crawled out of his cave to talk to the media and face the fans of this team. And how big of and bad of a PR hit can it be explaining a pick on draft night if what it is trading down and taking 2 bites at the apple when your team still is nowhere close to actual contention?
Yeah, I guess like for me, it's like when Arturas talks, he's not talking to like the diehard fans of a team who are like in the comments on every single day of our show.
Shout out to y'all.
He's talking to like the casual fan and saying like, we got another lottery pick. We're like building, it's like, I think the people that know enough to know what's going on are not going to care about that either way. If there's value there, they're going to be happy with that. But I do think that, they're at a point where like they need to be adding talent, and like they've got very few ways to do that. Trading down in the draft, unless you're feeling really good about the value there, that comes with some risk.
Okay.
I would like to believe that there is a substantial, even dare I say, majority portion of this fan base that sees the logic in potentially accepting an offer to trade down on draft night, given where this team is right now.
Yeah.
There, I'm sure, will be some fans in whatever way it plays out with who's on the board at 12 saying, I can't believe you traded down when you could have had X player. I'm sure some Bulls fans feel that way about a number of different players in this draft class. We'll find out in a month. But I hope that some Bulls fans see the benefit and the upside of 2 first-round picks instead of 1, where this team is right now.
Poll time?
Take 2 swings. Yeah, poll time, Katie. What do we got? The best kind of jelly/jam?
Well, first of all, I'd like to mention that there's 82 votes on the poll and only 59 likes.
So, that's unacceptable. We have got to get the likes above the votes.
I will be under at least 22 people's beds tonight because you didn't hit the button.
Count.
Anyway, the best type of jam/jelly, the runaway winner, strawberry.
That was my guess as to who would be a convincing winner given the options.
It's
the other
also
options.
The correct answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Among the options listed in this multiple choice poll, yes.
So
I also say strawberry. Correct.
Number 2 was grape.
Sure.
Number 3 was none. Jam and jelly suck. And
what?
And apricot in 4th?
Number 4 is apricot.
Okay.
Now, just to be clear, I only get to put 4 options on there. So.
Right.
What are y'all eating? Just peanut butter sandwiches? What are y'all doing?
You did leave out the 2 best ones, by the way, Katie.
Which are what?
Blackberry and raspberry.
I can't believe apricot was that deeply disrespected. If y'all haven't tried a good apricot jam or jelly recently, revisit.
I'll get back to y'all real soon.
That stuff is fire.
Soon.
Number 1, correct answer, blackberry.
Yeah.
Blackberry jam.
Blackberry jam is
Number
awesome.
2, black raspberry jam.
Blackberry, yeah.
Boom.
Black Betty Bamba Lamb.
So, I mean, I wrote down grape, strawberry, and then none because I had to put a none option on there. And then I couldn't think of what to put for the 3rd one, so I just Googled most popular types of jam, and apricot was number 3, so I put it on there.
Okay.
None being an option is kind of crazy.
Yeah, none being an option and receiving not the fewest amount of votes is crazy.
That's insanity.
Good jam is delicious. Also,
what are you doing
Katie,
with your lives?
I don't think that there are a whole lot of sub-10-year-olds who watch our show. Shout out to you if you are. Go stay in school. But if you are if you are over the age of 10 and you are using grape jelly for anything, straight to jail.
I'll allow
Grape jelly? You using that with some Wonder Bread, white bread? Really? For your sandwich, for your PB&J? Packing lunch to go to work? Yeah. Some Wonder Bread and some grape jelly? Grow up.
I'll allow it for PBs and PB&Js, and that's it.
We are so
grape is the ketchup of the jelly world.
Oh,
as the ketchup is the condiment world.
We ain't gonna do that
There
shit.
is an age limit.
We ain't gonna do that shit right
You must
now,
be
sir.
this short
not
or
doing
shorter
that.
to ride the coaster.
No, we ain't gonna do that. Throwing
Also,
disses at my ketchup out
Grape
here.
is the ketchup of jellies.
Oh man, please.
I will stand on that.
Yeah, well, stand in a pit of dirt and mud and sand, sir. How dare you? How dare you?
I just want
Many people in the comments were also upset that there was no Space Jam option.
Yeah, no, I'll take the L on that one. That would have been really good. Yeah.
Look at Trent's sigh. Here he goes.
What's up, Jets? Did you miss me?
Oh, rare form.
Emma agrees that ketchup sucks.
I hate ketchup.
What? What is wrong with y'all?
I particularly describe ketchup as red tomato chunk. Even though it's smooth, it's just like, what is that? Like,
Young
I do
person,
not.
old soul.
I do
This is
not
why
eat
Emma and I
ketchup.
connect.
Exactly. Period.
Terrible take. Terrible. Just a horrible take. Ketchup is amazing.
It's not.
Amazing.
It is not.
Oh, love it so much.
Ooh, bacon
Got
jam.
some at home right now in the cabinet, baby. Ready to go. Always getting ketchup. Shout out to my brother who also loves it. Who's also a grown-ass man. We love that, baby.
Dude,
We love it.
Branson's coming in with just a fire last-second buzzer beater. Was bacon jam
Bacon
an
jam.
option? It should have been.
Is that a
Okay.
thing?
Bacon jam is a thing.
Okay, I've
Oh,
never
it's a
heard that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And it's amazing. Homemade bacon jam? Ooh, I like it. You ever have bacon eggs?
Better
Speaking
tell him,
of
Trez,
condiments.
about the Sweet Baby Ray's, sir. You better tell him about it.
All right, it's time to sign off before we get into an argument about barbecue sauce.
We're going to get into a fight about jams and jellies in a second. But that's
all
it for
about
today.
preserves.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Hit that like button. We're back tomorrow with another episode live 4 p.m. Central Time. We will see you then. In the meantime, go check out Mock Draft 2.0. Available now, allchgo.com. And also, while you're there, for you diehards, check out that Die Hard Draft Guide, recently updated. Great stuff. Do your draft homework.
Yeah.
Be good.
Patrick Mahomes loves ketchup. Peace.
Trash.
It's a champion.
We all silly like the mayor.